Today's top stories at NBR: a record level of investment in New Zealand startups. NBR lister challenges MIQ location. Tweaks to the COVID-19 relief bill around no access clauses to commercial leases. And there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR Today, a wrap of the day's top business stories from the authority in New Zealand business news since 1970, nbr.co.nz. It's Wednesday, October 27th. I'm Paul Brennan. Thanks again for joining us. In spite of strong opposition from local councils, the government is forging ahead with its plan to create 4 publicly owned water entities to take control of the country's 3 waters infrastructure. Local Government Minister Nanaia Mahuta said the move would ensure New Zealanders had access to affordable, long-lasting drinking, waste and stormwater infrastructure.
At the end of the day, when we go for a holiday, what we want to make sure is that we have the assurance of clean drinking water, the ability to swim in our local lakes, streams and oceans, beaches, and the confidence of knowing that the burgeoning cost of funding infrastructure that is so critical to our regional growth and development can be met without the taxpayer having to fully fund.
Local Government Minister Nanaia Mahuta. There's been a record level of investment in New Zealand startups so far in 2021, with the year set to be the sector's most active in more than a decade. There were 66 early-stage deals in the first half of the year, up 60% on the same time last year. The latest startup investment report shows a total of $260 million was invested in Kiwi startups, comprised of nearly $60 million from angel investors and $200 million from venture capital backers. Joining the NBR's Maria Slade was PwC partner Anand Reddy.
So some high-profile companies have been sold, and I think when investors see outcomes like that, that attracts more capital. So also some of those exits of companies like Vend, Sequent, and others have been acquired by international acquirers, and so there's some investors offshore that are also looking at New Zealand companies as a good place to invest.
PwC partner Anand Reddy with Maria Slade there. Shares in milk marketer A2 Milk sank as much as 10% as investors absorbed the implications of a presentation on its strategy and outlook this morning, Wednesday, wiping $500 million off the company's market value. By mid-morning, the stock was trading at $6.47, down from yesterday's close of $7.14, having dropped as low as $6.43. Turnover of $8.8 million by 11:15 a.m. was the highest of any stock on the NZX since market open. Chief Executive David Bortolussi said the unprecedented change in China's infant formula market had required A2 to adopt its strategy. A government refusal to allow self-isolation at home rather than at a managed quarantine and isolation facility was challenged at the High Court this morning, Wednesday, in a judicial review sought by NBR lister Murray Bolton. The court heard that Bolton is due to attend a critical 2-day board meeting of Explore Technologies next month in Boston and apply to the government for an exemption to MIQ requirements on his return. Their application for an exemption noted Bolton and his partner were both fully vaccinated, would comply with all testing requirements, would travel by private aircraft and on their return could effectively isolate at their large gated home. In addition, at age 73, Bolton would be safer to isolate at home than at MIQ, and the government's other actions had shown MIQ requirements could be set aside. The application was declined. Tweaks have been made to the COVID-19 relief bill that will retroactively add no access clauses to commercial leases as it goes for consideration by the Committee of the Whole House this evening, Wednesday. The controversial COVID-19 response management measures legislation bill was introduced in September and has been sped through Parliament, much to the dismay of landlords and the Property Council. It's expected to be passed tomorrow, Thursday. Joining the NBR's Andrew Bevan was the Property Council Chief Executive Leonie Freeman.
We think that the bill has been rushed. It really shows a lack of understanding of what's going on in the marketplace, and it probably has highlighted the government's naivety about thinking that the only issue is whether there is a no access clause in somebody's lease or not.
Property Council Chief Executive Leonie Freeman with Andrew Bevan there. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. Tomorrow at NBR, in the latest in our Angel at My Table week-long series, Nicola Shepherd talks to women investors backing women founders, while in his politics column this week, Brent Edwards looks at the reaction to the Reserve Bank's climate change strategy. I'm Paul Brennan. I look forward to being with you again from around lunchtime tomorrow for the morning's NBR trending stories. Then same time, same place, right here again from 5:30 tomorrow for another NBR Today.